So as you have watched the video, now if you like this session, then do hit the like button, share this video and subscribe to this channel. And you're also, if you're preparing for JEE Advanced, then we have Rank Accelerator book for you. That is for physics, chemistry and mathematics, and it has some really interesting questions for you that you can solve to prepare yourself for JEE Advanced level. But if you want to get this book for totally free of cost, then you can enroll yourself to Eklavya batch. In this batch, basically we solve this particular book in the class itself, in the live session. Doubt sessions are taken here, so that will be very beneficial for you if you are getting stuck in the questions of JEE Advanced. If you're preparing for just JEE Mains 2 attempt 2, then what you can do, in the description we have a link, that is JEE Mains attempt 2, just a batch dedicated to JEE Mains 2, right? Click on that, purchase that, because the batch has already started. Students are already enrolled in that and they are preparing, because we have very less time. Don't waste even single minute here, right? Okay then, bacha, all the best for your exam. This is Diksha Kaushal signing off. We shall start the session now. Okay, let us start the session now. Okay, bacha? Perfect. Now, coming to the first question here. The very first question, bacha, everybody in the chat section. First question here is, a solution of this is green but a solution of this is colorless. What is the reason? Whenever you have a colored solution and a colorless solution, if you want to tell this, colored solution will show DD transitions. Okay, colored solution is going to show DD transition. Okay, this is going to show DD transition and this is not going to show DD transitions. Okay, now let us see how we can see that what is showing DD transition and what is not showing DD transitions. Okay, I'm lining this up. So this will be x plus 0 is equals to plus 2. So here nickel is in plus 2 configuration. This is argon 18, 4s0, 3d8. Okay, and here nickel is in x minus 4 is equals to minus 2. That is x is equals to plus 2. Again nickel 2 positive is in 4s0, 3d8 configuration. Now, this is a weak ligand, that is a strong ligand. Okay, here we will have pairing. Okay, here we are going to have pairing, and here this is a strong ligand. Okay, this is a strong ligand. Strong ligand will cause pairing in that. Okay, so here that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And here we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here you have 2 unpaired electron. That means DD transitions. DD transition. Here no unpaired electron. So no DD transition. No DD transitions. Okay, no DD transitions here. So this is the first question. So this question can be asked to any compound there. Any compound. They will ask you, this is colorless, this is not colorless. There is one exception here. Okay, there is one exception here. Everyone, I am writing here one exception. That is why KMNO4 show colors. What is the reason? KMNO. Anyone? Okay, this is not that much in detail in your syllabus. Okay, you just need to remember this line. That is KMNO4 show color because of charge transfer. That is LMCT. Okay, because of charge transfer it shows color, not because of DD transition. That is the exception. Okay, now next question here is, everyone, you have Henry's law. You have Henry's law constant for molarity. Molarity of methane is this. Okay, Henry's law constant, that means KH is this much. Calculate the solubility. You have to calculate the solubility of methane in benzene under this pressure. So calculate the mole fraction here. The pressure is equals to KH into the mole fraction. Okay, pressure is equals to KH into mole fraction. Calculate the value of mole fraction here. Okay, calculate the value of mole fraction here. It is given, you have KH, you have P. Just apply this formula, calculate the value of mole fraction. Mole fraction is a function of solubility only. So solubility in terms of mole fraction is methane is this much. Okay guys, when you are provided that, okay, calculate the solubility or the mole fraction. This is the same thing, right? Okay. Next, we have explained the following. Okay, now low spin octahedral complexes of nickels are not known. Why low spin octahedral complexes of nickel are not known? This is very simple. Okay, very simple question. Okay, but see this. Firstly, let us see low spin complexes of nickel. Okay, nickel is usually in Ni. Nickel is 28. That is argon 4s2 3d8. Okay, that is argon 4s2 3d8. Now see this very carefully. Okay, after losing 2 electrons, nickel is in 2 plus. Nickel is either in 0 oxidation state or in 2 positive oxidation state. Okay, for 2 positive oxidation state, you have 3d8 electronic configuration. Now what he is trying to say? He is saying that low spin octahedral complexes of nickel are not known. That means he is saying according to CFT. You know one thing about CFT, that when we are talking about octahedral complexes, they show low as well as high spin complexes. But in case of D1, D2, D3, in case of D8, D9, D10, in these cases, D1 if you take in low spin or in high spin, it will have 1 unpaired electron. D2 will always have 2 unpaired electron. D3 will always have 2 or 3 unpaired electron. D8 will always have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It will always have 10 minus 8, that is 2 unpaired electron. D9 will always have 10 minus 9 is equals to 1 unpaired electron. D10 will always have 0 unpaired electron. Okay guys, understood this? So, wait. Always they are going to have same number of unpaired electron even in high spin and even in low spin complexes. This is what they are talking about, that low spin octahedral complexes are not known, means nickel is going to behave as this only, right? One more thing here. This is what the octahedral complex is, right? One more thing here that you can add on to about the tetrahedral. As you know, nickel is usually showing four tetrahedral. It usually have 4 ligands. It usually have tetrahedral shapes here. Okay, nickel generally it has 4 ligands. That means nickel generally it shows tetrahedral thing, right? And tetrahedral, you know that the CFSE is like this. The CFSE of square planar, then you have CFSE of octahedral, then you have CFSE of tetrahedral. The CFSE of tetrahedral is so low. It is so low that it always forms high spin complexes. Okay, it is so low the electrons are always going to jump. Okay, so tetrahedral always form high spin complexes. So you are going to reason it that nickel in tetrahedral complexes, it is always high spin, and nickel in octahedral complexes always have D8 configuration, which will always show 2 electron pair even in low spin and even in high spin complexes, right? Okay, now this is the first. Now next is delta T is equals to 4 by this. Wait a minute, explain the following. Now how you will explain this thing? How you are going to explain this thing? See, here we are saying that delta O, that means octahedral, has more CFSE as compared to tetrahedral. Now we are saying this. Why octahedral has more CFSE? Anyone in the chat box? Anyone? Why octahedral has more CFSE? Now you know octahedral is like this, okay? Octahedral is like this, okay? This is octahedral, this is tetrahedral. Okay, this is tetrahedral. You know, in octahedral there is symmetry, right? The octahedral symmetry is like this. Okay, this is the octahedral symmetry. This is the octahedral symmetry. Here you will say the orbitals, the ligands are along the axis, right? And in dx, and in d square minus y square and dz square, they are also along the axis. Okay. Dx square minus y square and dz square are also along the axis, and dxy, dyz and dzx are between the axis. Okay, they are between the axis. So that is why here in this case, along the axis will feel more repulsion, and here you will see dx square minus y square, and this will be dz square. This will be dxy, yz, and zx. Here it is going to, because of more symmetry, it is going to cause more splitting. Okay, it is going to cause more splitting as compared to delta T, that is tetrahedral complexes. Okay, bacha? Yes, bacha. Very good, very good, very good. Now, okay, marking it right here. Okay, so we have done this one also, that nickel always from octahedral complexes, mainly to this, mainly in +2 oxidation state, which will have 3d8 configuration, and here it will always have 2 electrons unpaired, even in low spin as well as high spin complexes, right? Okay, so now next thing is, it does not, that is why it does not form low spin octahedral complexes, right? Okay, now next thing is, number of ligands in tetrahedral geometry is pure, whereas octahedral complexes we have ligand is equals to 6, and because of more ligands there will be more splitting, right? More ligands, more symmetry, more splitting, right? Okay, understood? Yes, bacha? Yes, bacha. Okay, now the next question here is, everybody rearrange the following in increasing order of the basic strength. You have to rearrange this according to the basic strength. So what is the basic strength? For basic strength, always remember this one thing, that is basic strength is directly proportional to electron donating group, inversely to electron withdrawing group, and bacha, this is also directly proportional to availability of lone pairs. Okay, this is also directly proportional to availability of lone pairs. Okay, this is directly proportional to availability of lone pairs, right? Okay, now here we have this question. Now here let us see where the lone pairs are more available, right? Okay, you have, here you will see there will be resonance. Okay, here there will be resonance because of the phenyl, and that means electrons will be involved in the resonance. When electrons, the lone pairs are involved in the delocalization, they will be less available. That means basicity will be less. Here we have this N. This is also, this is basically your sample paper question. Okay, this is C6H5. Okay, I'll write it here. Now this is phenyl, and here you have 2CH3. See this very carefully. Here electrons are involved in the resonance. Okay, they are not available. Here electrons are also involved in the resonance, as well as these two groups, due to their inductive effect, are providing the electrons to this nitrogen. It means somebody is taking away the electrons, somebody is providing the electrons. Due to resonance, it is showing, resonance is taking away electrons from nitrogen, and inductive effect is providing the electron. So as compared to this will have more basicity because more electrons will be available in this case. Now here you have 2 phenyl groups. Okay, here there is so much resonance, and if we mark this one, this 2, this 3, and this one 4, you will say least basic will be third one because of 2 resonance here. This will be least basic. Then you will have 1 here. Then bacha, you will have this one. And then you will have most basic will be this one. Okay, most basic will be the 4th one. Why? Because there is only because this is providing the electrons. Nobody is taking away the electrons from this nitrogen. Okay, so this is going to be your basic order, right? And what will be the value, what will be the order of pKb? That will be opposite to the basic order, right? pKb order is opposite to this. Okay, that means pKb order is inversely proportional to Kb order, right? Okay, everyone. Now next question here is, give increasing order towards electrophilic substitution of the following. Okay, you have to give increasing order towards electrophilic substitution. if electrophile has to come here, right? This person, this thing should be electron deficient. This should be electron rich. If I am electron rich, then electrophile will be attracted towards me, right? So this should be electron rich. Where, let us see where it is electron rich. Okay, let us see where it is electron rich. Here the electrons are provided here. It is getting electron from this side, this side. Okay, here it is getting electron from these three sides. Here it is electron from three sides. Okay. Actually 4 sides. Okay. Understood. There is no resonance here. No resonance here. Directly resonance is involved here. Right? Okay. So let us see where we will see maximum electrophilic character. Firstly, let us see this character here. We have done this. We have done this. Wait. Next is, wait. There's so much. We don't need to get into this. Wait. Okay, let us see this directly. Okay, so now the electrophilic character should have maximum electrons here. Here, see this. Here it is having, it is involved in the resonance here. Okay, it will be involved in the resonance here. Okay, it is taking away the electrons from this one, and it is taking away the electrons from this one, from 3 this one, right? And here it is taking away the electrons from 2, and here it is having, it is involved in the resonance. And here it is not involved in any resonance. Here it is not involved in any resonance, right? Okay, so the maximum electron density will be available on this side because of 2 I effects here, and this is positive, right? Neutral species maximum, right? Neutral species, these two are neutral, these two are positive, right? So maximum electron density will be among these two. Okay, maximum electron density will be among these two. Out of this and this already has a lone pair of electrons, right? So this is having maximum electron density. This does not have lone pair of electrons, so as compared to this one, it will have less electron density. Okay, that is a comparison between 2 neutral species. Now let us come to the species which have a electron deficiency because of this vacant p orbital, this positive charge here. Now among these two, you will see here we will have, here this is involved in the resonance, okay, that is involved directly in the resonance. Here it is getting 3 plus I effect from this side and 1 plus I effect from this CH2 group. That means it is having more electron density as compared to this one. Yes, bacha, it is having more electron density, maybe 1.5 hour, okay, maybe 1 to 1.5 hour. Okay, after these questions, we will do MCQs here. Right? Okay, understood? Now, bacha, next question we have. Next question, everybody. What is the effect of substituents on basicity of amines? What is the effect of substituent, beta? What is the effect of substituents? Everyone. How the basicity is going to increase or decrease? Again, the same thing, that basicity, if something is providing the electrons, if the electrons availability is more, basicity is going to increase. If there is electron withdrawing group, basicity is going to decrease there. Okay, that is written here. Okay, basicity is directly proportional to electron donating group and inversely to electron withdrawing group. That's it. Okay, bacha. Next question, let us see. Next question is from the Nernst equation. Short question. They are going to ask you this Nernst equation question. Okay, short. These Nernst equation question are definitely going to be there in your exam, right? Okay, write the Nernst equation for the following reaction. Okay, for the following reaction, write the Nernst equation. Here, bacha, let us write the Nernst equation. N electrons, it will gain N electrons. Okay, it is having the oxidation here. This is the reduction here. Okay, this is the reduction part. No oxidation here, right? So let us write the Nernst equation here. That is E naught minus E naught. E naught is equals to E naught shell 2.303 RT by NF. N is the number of electrons here, right? Log base 10. Now here we write log base 10 oxidation by reduction. So there is no oxidation. There is no oxidation in this reaction. There is only reduction. So no, we are not going to write here oxidation. This will be unity divided by reduction. What is reduction, bacha? Reduction is this one. This one is getting reduced. This will be M. This will be metal N positive, right? Okay, this is we have written here, right? And N is the amount of electrons that were gained here, right? Okay, next question, bacha. Next question that we have. First question is, Calculate the EMF for the following cell. For the following cell, here this is the oxidation half cell beta. This is the reduction half cell. Okay, this is the reduction. You just need to write the Nernst equation here. Okay, let us see how do we write the Nernst equation. Firstly, this is going to be anode side. This is going to be cathode side. This is going to be cathode side. This is going to be reduction. This is going to be oxidation. Right? Okay. How many electrons gain or lost here? N is equals to 2 here. Everyone write it down with me. You have E cell equals to E naught. What is the value of E naught here? Value of E naught is E naught cathode. E naught cathode means CO2 positive reduction potential minus E naught anode. Anode is Mg2 positive reduction potential. Right? Okay. Then minus 0.059, number of electron is 2, then we have log base 10, oxidation by reduction. This is the oxidation that we will write Mg2 positive concentration divided by reduction is this one, that is CO2 positive concentration. This is how you write Nernst equation. If you have written the Nernst equation in the correct way, they will give you answers. Okay, just writing the formula exactly will not give you any marks. Okay, they will not give you any marks. Writing the formula like this, okay, which is oxidation, this will be the oxidation part, down will be the reduction part. Oxidation, this is oxidation part, this is the reduction part. This is cathode minus anode. Okay, always remember E naught cell is equals to cathode minus anode, reduction potential of both, and log base to 10 is equals to oxidation divided by reduction. Yes, bacha, very good. Log in the final is it log value? Ma'am, is it necessary to write log value in the final answer? Most probably they will provide you the value of log. Okay, most probably they will tell you that they will give you the value of log there. Okay, right? Okay, if they have not given you the value of log, you can skip it, don't worry. Okay, if you don't know how to calculate, you can skip it, right? They will just cut half marks from there. If you have written all the things here correctly, you have written Mg2 positive here, CO2 positive here, everything you have written correctly, you have put the values correctly there, then they will not cut your marks. They will hardly cut half marks for calculations. Okay, yes bacha, yes. Okay, next part here is Fe, this one. So I don't have actually I don't have a space for this now. What should we do? Okay, let us see the value here only. Okay, let us see the value here only. It's such hodgepodge. Okay, now I'm going to write the thing here. Okay, this is the oxidation part, this is the reduction part. So how I am going to write it, bacha? See this. Okay, see this, I'm going to write it in similar way. Okay, so this is the anode part, this is the cathode part. At anode, it will lose electron. At cathode, it is going to gain electron. So Nernst equation is going to be E naught minus 0.051 divided by 2. Why 2? Because 2 electrons are gained and lost here. That is why N is equals to. So now log is equals to, this is the reduction part, this is the oxidation part. Okay, this is the oxidation part. Oxidation part is this one. Okay, that is Fe2 positive. Now what is the reduction part, guys? This is the reduction part. Okay, this is the reduction part. Reduction part is the value of this. Now bacha, very important thing, that is, here you write oxidation by reduction. Okay, by reduction. At oxidation, you have just Fe2 positive ion. Very important thing here. Very important, right? You have concentration. In active mass, from equilibrium we know that either we write the pressure of the gas or the concentration of the liquid. Solid is taken as unity. Because this was solid, that is why it is taken as unity. But this is not solid. This is not solid, right? So that is why we will write here. This will be products by reactants. Okay, we'll write products. Usually the correct answer here is products by reactant. Product by reactant. These are the product. This has some value. This has some value. This is in the form of pressure. This is in the form of concentration. This is in the form of concentration. Its value is unity. The value for solid, the active mass for solid is unity. Not for gases. Gases, it is not unity. So that is why I am going to write it as product by reactant. That is concentration of Fe2 positive Fe2 positive. Now you will say, ma'am, you always say write oxidation by reduction. Why now you are saying product by? But that is a simpler way of writing thing, because you always product side is the oxidation side. Always you will see product side is the oxidation side. You will find the oxidation ions here. Okay, that is why that was the formula for you. But now product by reactant, this is the product and this is the partial pressure of H2. Then you have reactant, that is H positive raised to the power the stoichiometric coefficient. This was the main highlighted point of this question. Very important. Okay, bacha, understood this? Very important point. Okay, you have to add on also the partial pressure here, right? Okay, bacha, understood? Partial pressure is 1 bar, or put all the values here and you will have the answer here. Okay, bacha? Yes, bacha? Okay, perfect. Next question is, following are the transition metals of 3D series. Okay, transition metal of 3D series. Following are the transition metal ions of 3D series. These. Which ion is more stable in aqueous solution and why? Which ion is more stable? Which ion is oxidizing agent and why? Okay, so now let us see which ion is more stable in the aqueous medium. That we are going to see the electronic configuration here. Okay, we are going to see the electronic configuration here. Everyone, which ion is more stable in the aqueous solution? Okay, in the aqueous solution, you will see titanium 4 positive have highest oxidation state among the given ions. This is stable inert gas configuration and hence more stable in the aqueous solution. Okay, let us calculate the titanium 4 positive. Electronic configuration is argon. Titanium is 22. After losing 4 electrons, it will be 4s0 and 3d0. And because of this noble gas configuration, it will be more stable in the aqueous solution. Right? It will be more stable because it has a noble gas configuration. It doesn't want to react with anything. Right? Okay? Yes, bacha. Don't worry, beta. Firstly, just focus on this. Okay? Don't be scared. Yeah? Which ion is strong oxidizing agent and why? Now, which ion is the strong oxidizing agent? Okay, bacha, which is the strong oxidizing agent? That wants to lose electrons. Okay, that ion wants to, strong oxidizing agent that wants to oxidize, other wants to gain the electrons. Okay, okay. Let us see here. You will see titanium in is, vanadium is 2 positive, it is 3 positive, it is Cr positive. So all are in the stable oxidation states. Here we are talking about the oxidation states. You will say, ma'am, it is stable electronic configuration. Why would you want to gain electrons? But the oxidation state that is stable for titanium is 2 positive. It is in the highest oxidation state. That is why it is going to be very active. It wants to gain electron, right? It wants to get converted to Ti2 positive, titanium 2 positive, and that is why it is acting as a very good oxidizing agent. Yes, bacha. Next is draw the structure of major monohalo compounds. Okay. So, what will the major monohalo product in the each of the following? So, bacha, what is going to be the reaction here? This is a Darson reaction here. Okay. This is the Darson reaction. OH will be replaced by Cl. And here, in the presence of peroxide, there will be anti-Markovnikov addition. Okay, there will be anti-Markovnikov addition. So the products are going to be, this OH is going to replace by Cl, and here there is going to be anti-Markovnikov addition. That means negative part, the more number of hydrogen, negative part is going to act here, that is Br, and here we will have hydrogen. That is, this is going to be the right product. Okay, this is going to be the right product. Next, bacha, we have Y-on dilution. This increases drastically, while on that this increases gradually. Now, bacha, see this. This is a strong electrolyte. This is strong electrolyte. The graph for strong electrolyte is like this. Okay, this is a proper slope. But the graph for weak electrolyte is like this. Okay, for weak electrolyte the graph is like this. Okay, that is why this increases gradually, because it is partially, because it is giving ions. Okay, on like you are diluting this firstly, it will be partially ionizing. It will be, there will be partial dissociation. But as you are providing water more and more, as the dilution increases, it is going to increase the conductivity, it is going to increase the dissociation, and at infinite dilution, strong electrolyte and weak electrolyte are going to behave the same way. Okay, that is why the graph, or this is a graph for strong electrolyte, this is a graph for weak electrolyte. Yes, bacha. Next that we have, next question, a reaction is second order with respect to the reactant. Okay, with respect to the reactant, how will its reaction rate be affected if the concentration of the reactant is double? Now it is second order, with the respect to the reactant. If you double the reactant, it is going to be 4, right? If you reduce it to half, reduce it to half, it is going to be K, and this is half A square. It is going to be R by 4. Okay, it is going to decrease by 1 by 4 times. Okay, bacha? Okay, yes, bacha? Yes, definitely. Now see the next question here. Next is name the reagent and write the reaction. Okay, name the reagent and write the chemical equation for the preparation of the following compounds. Okay, from Williams synthesis. Okay, how do you prepare these two things? Biophenol do not give protonation reaction readily. Okay, see the first reaction here. When we are to prepare ethoxybenzene is this one. Always remember, in Williamson synthesis reaction, the halide should always be primary. Always in Williams synthesis reaction, the halide should always be primary, right? So here what we will take, the halide should be primary here. The halide should be primary here. That means there should be less steric hindrance. As this proceeds through SN2 mechanism, the halide should have less steric hindrance. So this is less sterically hindered reactant halide. So that is why this is the halide, and this is the sodium. This is the sodium alkoxide, right? And they both will together form this ester. Okay, understood? This ether, not ester. Yes. Next question is for 2-methoxypropane. That is this one. For 2-methoxypropane, see bacha, here this should be the halide part, and this should be the alkoxy part. This should be the alkoxy part, right? Okay, so we have taken this as the halide part and this as the alkoxy part. This is a very, very important reaction. Very important reaction. Okay, very important reaction. Yes, bacha. Okay, now next question here is, why do phenol not give protonation readily? Protonation reaction readily. Okay, so here you have phenols. Okay, these are the phenols. Now you know why do phenols not give protonation? Okay, so that is saying that if you are adding H positive, why it is not getting added to this one? Why this is not becoming like this? Why it is not becoming like this? Okay, bacha, because we know that these lone pairs are actually involved in the resonance here. Okay, they are involved in the resonance. So these lone pairs are not involved. Okay, these lone pairs are busy in the resonance because they are not available. If lone pairs are not available, that is going to decrease the basicity. Basically, they are asking why it is not basic. Why it is not basic? Okay. Protonation means why it is not accepting the proton, why it is not basic, why it is not behaving as a base, as a good base, even though it has two lone pairs, because these lone pairs are involved in the resonance here. Okay, bacha, understood this? Yes. Okay, very good. Now, bacha, let us come to the assertion reasoning questions. Okay, we have 40 assertion reasoning questions. So, pack your, lift your self up now, and so that we can do the assertion reasoning questions here, because there are 40 assertion reasoning questions. I want all of you to answer one by one. Okay, are you all ready for assertion reasoning questions? Yes, bacha. Yes. Okay. Yes, bacha. Shall I start assertion reasoning questions here? Okay, perfect. First question here is glycine exists as a zwitterion. Okay, glycine exists as a zwitterion, but ortho para amino benzoic acid do not. Okay, glycine is amino acid, so it exists as a zwitterion. That is true, right? Okay, next it is saying ortho para benzoic acid do not. Yes, due to presence of NH2COH groups within the same molecule, they neutralize each other, and hence alpha amino acids exist as dipolar or zwitterions. Bacha, this is also true. This statement is also true, right? Okay, glycine is amino acid, it is existing as a zwitterion, right? But this is not existing as a zwitterion. Now this statement is also true that NH2 and CH2, NH2 is going to accept the proton from COH, right? But if we ask why here, if we ask why so, why glycine exists as zwitterion, this is not giving us the answer, right? This is not giving us the answer. You will say assertion and reason both are correct, but reason is not supporting the assertion here. Okay, reason is not supporting the assertion here. Next beta we have, in complex this, the spin only magnetic moment is close to 2.83. Let us calculate this. This chromium is in this will be -2 plus -1. This will be x minus 2 is equals to +1. That is going to be a +3. Okay, this chromium is in +3 oxidation state. Okay, chromium has 24 atomic number, so it will be argon 18, 4s2, 3d, 3d4. Okay, after losing 3 electrons, it is going to be 3d, it is going to be 3d, it is going to be 3d3. That means we are going to have this electrons. You are going to have 3 unpaired electrons here. For 3 unpaired electrons, that will be 3.8. That is going to be 3.8. That means under root 3, 3 plus 2. That means under root 3, 3 plus 2. Okay, now this is the dipole moment which is not equals to this one. So this is the false statement. Mononuclear complexes of chromium in strong field ligand have unpaired electron. Now he is saying mononuclear complexes of chromium in strong field ligand have unpaired electrons. He is saying even if you take unpaired electrons, okay, even if you take unpaired electron, mononuclear complexes, okay, that is having just one complexes of chromium 3 positive in the strong field ligand has 3 unpaired electrons. Okay, they are saying in the strong field ligand, you know one thing, okay, in the strong field ligand if we are talking about, there should be pairing, even then it is going to have 3 unpaired electrons only, right? So that is why this statement is going to be true here, right? So that is D is the correct, that is assertion and wrong, but the reason here is the correct statement, right? Next question that we have, next question, see this question that I have explained here, right? Okay, yes bacha, understood this? No? Yes bacha, yes bacha, understood this? I have also told you this before also. D1, D2, D3, D8, D9, D10 always have same number of electrons, even with weak field ligand, even with strong field ligand. Okay, both it will have same electrons, right? Okay, now next question here is, phenol is more reactive than benzene. Is it? Yes, it is more reactive because of the resonance, right? This is true. In case of phenol, the intermediate carboxyl is more resonance stabilized. That is also true, right? Okay, so is it giving the correct answer to us? Is it giving the why to us? Why phenol is more reactive than benzene? Because it is resonance stabilized. So the answer is going to be 1, that both are true, and reason is supporting the assertion here. Okay, reason is supporting the assertion here. Next bacha, next question here is tert butyl methyl ether. Here you should be aware that okay, they are talking about Williamson synthesis. Okay, is not prepared by reaction of tert butyl bromide. Okay, why so? Because in Williamson synthesis reaction, this is going to be true statement because it is not prepared by this one. Why so? Because in Williamson synthesis reaction, alkyl halide should be primary. This is tertiary. This is tertiary. It should be primary, not tertiary. There should be less steric hindrance. So this statement is true. Next is sodium methoxide is a weak nucleophile. Sodium methoxide, that means C2H5ONa. This is a very strong nucleophile. This is a very good nucleophile, not a weak nucleophile. Okay, this statement is going to be false here. So the answer is, assertion is correct and the statement is, and the reason here is wrong. Okay, very good, bacha. I want all of you to answer these. Okay, try to answer the questions. Okay, try to answer the questions. An ideal solution obeys Raoult's law. Okay, they are saying the ideal solution obeys Raoult's law. Yes, that is completely right. Ideal solution obeys Raoult's law. In an ideal solution, vapor pressure of the solute and solvent, the corresponding activities in the solution are proportional to their mole fraction. Okay, is it? Are they? In ideal solution, vapor pressure of the solute and solvent and their corresponding activity is proportional to their mole fraction. Yes, bacha. Yes, bacha. That is, they are saying that is, it is proportional to the mole fraction. This is Raoult's law. This is the Raoult's law. Right? This is also true. So, ideal solution obeys Raoult's law. Yes. Okay. Ask why. Why ideal solution obeys Raoult's law? Because ideal solution, in ideal solution, ask why, then try to answer this. Okay, why ideal solution obeys Raoult's law? Because ideal solution, vapor pressure of solute in this and their corresponding activity is proportional to their mole fraction. That is true. Okay, so there it is going to be the A answer. Very good, bacha. Very good. All of you, please answer the questions. Okay, please answer the questions. Yes. Next is highly concentrated solution. Highly concentrated solution, bacha. Highly concentrated solution occurs in, wait, what is here? Okay. Highly concentrated solution occurs in a wide range of natural processes exhibit in this. That is, non-ideal solution that is occurring in our environment are usually non-ideal. Okay, that is true. That statement is true. Non-ideal solution do not obey Raoult's law. That is also true. Now ask why. Ask why. Why highly concentrated solution occur in wide range of natural processes? Because non-ideal solution do not obey Raoult's law. No, this is not the reason behind that. This is not the reason. So it should be, this is not giving the reason. So answer will be assertion and reasoning both are correct, but reason is not the correct explanation. Always the trick to do assertion reasoning question is that firstly find out the two statements whether both are true or false. If any of it is false, C or D can be the answer. If any of it is true or both of it is true, and if both of them are true, then answer will be either A, either B. Now this is the tricky part. Here write it why this. If this why is giving the answer, then it will be A. If it is not giving the answer, it will be B. Yes, bacha? Perfect. Next we have dilute solution are taken as ideal solution. Yes, dilute solutions. Then when we dilute the solution so much, then we take it as the ideal solution. The solution which follows Raoult's law at any temperature concentration are known as ideal solution. Yes, bacha? Any temperature concentration. Any temperature concentration. Yes. At any wide range of temperature and concentration, we say it is following Raoult's law, we say it is ideal solution. Now ask why. Why dilute solution are taken as ideal solution? Because they show wide range at any temperature concentration. No, this is not giving the right answer. Right? This is not the answer to our question. This is not the answer to our question. So here B is going to be the right answer. Okay, B is going to be the right answer here. Next is solution having positive deviation from Raoult's law, that is delta H mixing is positive. Yes, positive deviation means delta H mixing is positive. True. Now, energy required to break solute solvent attractive forces. Okay, energy is required. Yes, energy is definitely required in positive deviation. That is also true. Now, ask why here. Ask why here. Everybody, is it giving the right answer here? Is it giving the why solution have positive deviation? Have delta H positive because energy is required or absorbed to break solute solvent attractions. This is giving the right answer. This is giving the reasoning for our question. So the answer here will be A. The answer here is going to be A is the correct answer. Yes? Okay? Very good. Now, next question here is, everybody, solutions have negative deviation from Raoult's law showing delta V mixing as positive. Now, delta V mixing here is positive. That means solution having negative deviation from Raoult's law. Okay, that means this is positive, this they are showing wrong, this is false. If this is false, there is only one statement where assertion is false. That is D part. That is D part. Correctly tick D is the right answer. Okay, tick D is the right answer. Solute interactions are stronger than this. This is true. Okay, for negative deviation, AB interactions are stronger than AA and BB interactions. Yes, bacha. Now talking about the next part here. What is going to be the right answer here? Relative lowering of vapor pressure is directly proportional to number of ions present in the solution. Yes, that is directly proportional. Okay, that is P naught minus P by P naught is equals to mole fraction of 2. Right? The relative lowering of vapor pressure of this and this is less. Of this sugar solution, same molarity sugar solution is less than this. Both are non-electrolyte. Molarity is same. If molarity is same, both are non-electrolyte, there is no van der factor involved. That means relative lowering in vapor pressure should be same here. That means this statement is false. So answer will be assertion is correct and the reason here is wrong. Okay, assertion is correct and the reason here is wrong. Yes, bacha. Next we have very good. Okay, bacha, reason is not correct explanation for, but the reason is not correct. Which one, beta? Which one are you talking about? This one? Are you talking about this question? Which question are you talking about? No, this is the correct. Why solution show positive deviation? He is saying why positive deviation has delta H mixing positive. Why delta H mixing is positive? Because to break the interactions, we need energy. Okay? Energy is required to break solvent interactions. Right? That is why this is positive. Right? Okay? Next thing we have glucose when treated with CH3OH in presence of dry HCl produces, okay, glucose when treated with CH3OH in presence of dry HCl produces alpha beta methyl glycoside. That statement is exactly true, right? Glucose reacts with phenyl hydrazine to form crystalline ozazone. That is also true, right? It reacts with phenyl hydrazine, right, to form ozazone, right? Having 3 molecules, it consumes 3 molecules in this, right? So now, both statements are correct, but there is no relation between these two statements. So here we will say B is the correct answer, okay? B is going to be the correct answer here, right? Next question is, a solution sucrose in water is dextrorotatory, but on hydrolysis, presence of a little hydrochloric acid, it becomes levorotatory. Now what happens here? You have sucrose, it gives glucose, but it gives fructose. This will be positive 32 point something. This is minus 92 point something. This is positive, right? Okay, let it take some 90 something. Okay, so it is going to shift from dextro to levorotatory because the rotation of levorotation is more as compared to the dextro rotation. Okay, now this is a true statement. Sucrose on hydrolysis give unequal amount of glucose. That is a false statement. It gives equal amount of glucose and fructose. It does not. The rotation is not equal. Okay, the rotation here is not equal. So assertion is correct and the reason here is wrong. Okay, assertion, very good, bacha, very good. Assertion is correct. Reason here is wrong. Next is this one has higher stability than this one. This is because of chelation. Okay, the answer here is chelation. So this is the true statement. In this, the geometry around nickel is octahedral. Is this correct? The geometry around nickel is octahedral. Is this so? Yes, the geometry around nickel is octahedral. That is true. Yes, okay. But is there any, if you ask why here, is there any relation between these two things? There is no relation between these two things, right? Okay, there is no relation between these two things. So answer is going to be B is going to be the correct answer here. Okay, there is no relation here. Okay, this is different statement, this is different statement. Both are correct statements, but there is no reasoning to this, right? Next we have the products of electrolysis of water. You have the product of electrolysis of water are hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, the product of hydrolysis of water are hydrogen and oxygen. Yes, that is true. You have H positive, you have OH negative. This is going to give you H2, this is going to give you O2, right? Okay, yes, that is true. In electrolysis, hydrogen are attached to anode. Okay, this is H positive. Anode is the positive electrode. It is going to attach to cathode, and this is going to attach to anode. This is going to attach to anode here. Because in electrolytic cell, anode is positive, cathode is negative. Right? In electrochemical cell, anode is negative, cathode is positive. Right? So here we will say this is the false statement. That is, assertion is correct, but the reason is here is wrong. Okay, bacha? Yes. Okay, yes, option C is the correct answer. Very good, option C is the correct answer here. Next we have, in electrolytic cell, anode and cathode are respectively negative and positive electrodes. Okay, in electrolytic cell, anode and cathode are respectively negative and positive. Is it? Anode is the negative electrode, right? Anode is the positive electrode in electrolytic cell. This is the negative electrode, right? So anode, they are saying anode is the negative, cathode is the positive. This is a false statement. This is a false statement. So the answer will be D is the correct answer. Okay, D is going to be the correct answer. Still, we are going to see the reason here. At anode, oxidation take place, and at cathode, reduction take place. This is the true statement, but this is the false statement. So answer is going to be D. Okay, so answer is going to be D here. Next we have cathode and anode indicate polarity. Okay, cathode and anode both indicate polarity. Is it? No, they indicates the electrodes here. Okay, so D is going to be the correct answer. On passing electric current through the electrolytic solution, the ion are attached by oppositely charged electrodes, and this movement of ion constitute the flow of electron. This is what happens. The ion, if it is positive, it will go to negative electron. If the ion is negative, it will go to positive electron. Right? Okay, so D is going to be the correct answer here. Yes, everyone. Yes, everyone. Any problem till now? Any problem till now? Any problem? I can't see the movement of chats here. I think everyone is running back. Nah. We are so busy right now in revision. Right? Is it? Okay. Don't worry. I have something very special for your revision. Okay. Next is the electrolysis of Na solution gives hydrogen at the cathode and chlorine at the anode. Right? It is going to the electrolysis of Na solution gives hydrogen at the, okay. You have Na, this is Na positive, Cl negative, this is H positive and OH negative. Out of this is going to win and this is going to win. It is going to give us H2, this is going to give us C2, this is going to give this at cathode, and this is going to liberate chlorine at anode. Now see this. Electrolysis of this, hydrogen at cathode. Hydrogen at cathode, that is true. Okay, this is a true statement, and chlorine at anode. Chlorine has higher oxidation potential than water. No, it has higher oxidation potential than OH negative, not water. Okay, so this will be false statement. So here we will say assertion is correct, but the reason here is wrong. Okay, but the reason here is wrong. Yes, bacha? Okay. Yes, beta. Very good, very good. Next we have input of energy is required by electrolytic cell. Electrolytic cell requires input of energy. Electrolytic converts electrical to chemical energy. That is a true statement. You know what? This is my method of revising the whole syllabus for you. Okay, this is my method of revising whole syllabus in the form of assertion reasoning, because they have asked 4 questions in sample paper. So they're going to ask you 4 questions from there, right? Reason here is electrolytic cell have just one container. That is also true. But there is no, like, if you ask why input of energy is required by electrolytic cell, because they have just in one container. No, that is not true. Right? That is not this. This is not the correct reason for this. So assertion and reasoning both are true, but reason is not the correct explanation for the assertion. Right? Okay. Next question, bacha. Next question, everyone. Next question. Next question, beta. Next question. Aldol condensation can be catalyzed by both acids and bases. Yes, aldol condensation can be catalyzed by both acids and by bases. Okay, that is a true fact. Beta hydroxyaldehyde or ketones readily undergo acid catalyzed dehydration. That is also true. Okay, this is the condensation part, that beta hydroxy undergo condensation, undergo dehydration, and then form alpha beta unsaturated aldehydes or ketones, right? Okay, but there is no relation between these two. Why this reacts with both acid and bases is not the correct explanation here, right? So answer is going to be B here. Answer is going to be B here. Okay, in most of the cases, the answer is going to be B in these questions. Okay, see this carefully. Now, glucose and fructose give the same oxazole. That is true. Okay, why? Because at C1 and C2 position, both are converted. Okay, both are converted. So, glucose and fructose are going to give us both the same oxazole. And during oxazole formation, stereochemistry and C1 and C2 destroyed and rest of the structure remains. This is also true. And when you ask why glucose and fructose give same oxazole, this will be the explanation to that. That during oxazole, formation of stereochemistry of C1 and C2 is destroyed and rest of the structure remains same. Yes, bacha, rest of the structure will remain same. So A is going to be the correct answer here. Yes, bacha, A is going to be the correct answer here. Here, this one, in case of glucose, this CHO and this CHOH is going to destroy here. And in case of fructose, this CH2OH and this C double bond is going to get destroyed here. Okay, both will be converted. Okay, yes, bacha, yes, okay, perfect. Now, next we have everyone here. Yes, bacha. F negative ion is weak ligand, that is true, forms outer orbital complex. Because it is a weak ligand, right, there will be no pairing, it is going to form sp3d2 kind of complexes. That is true, right? F ion cannot force the electron of dz square and dx square minus y square of the inner shell to occupy these electrons of same shell. That means it cannot forcefully do the pairing. That is also true. Now ask why. Why F negative in weak ligand? Because it is not able to do the pairing. So A is going to be the correct answer here. Okay, A is going to be the correct answer here. Yes, bacha. Okay, bacha. Everyone here. Why you are not active in the chat box, beta? Why? What happened? Okay. Yes, but okay. That in NCERT that is given, but yes, it is catalyzed. It can be catalyzed by both acids and bases. Okay, it can be catalyzed by both. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Now, next we have, in rate law, unlike the expression of equilibrium constant, the exponents or concentration do not necessarily match the stoichiometric coefficient. Yes, that is true, because in rate law equation, you have k a raised to power x b raised to power y. Now, this x and y is not related to the stoichiometric coefficients, right? So that is going to be true. It is the mechanism and not the balanced chemical equation for the overall change that governs the reaction rate. That is also, it is the mechanism, not the balanced. Yes, that is also true, because the overall reaction depends on the slowest step, right? Not this depends on the mechanism, not the overall reaction here. And this is also true. So now write here y rate law, y expression of equilibrium constant, exponent of concentration do not necessarily match the stoichiometric coefficient, because that is not dependent on the full reaction, that depends on the mechanism, and mechanism defines the order of that reaction. So this is giving the right explanation, right? So this is going to be the A is going to be the correct answer for this. Yes bacha, A is going to be the correct answer here. Yes bacha, any problem till now? Any problem till now? Any problem? Very good beta, you have just watched PYQ session. If you have watched my marathon, if you have watched my PYQ session, and then you have watched my this lecture, okay, this is going to polish your assertion and reasoning questions and some of the case based questions also. Okay, yes, okay. Next question here is, phenol undergoes Cole's reaction whereas ethanol does not. Why phenol undergoes phenol? This is true. Ethanol do not undergo Cole's reaction. Next is, phenoxide ion is more basic than ethoxide. Phenoxide ion is more basic. This is the phenoxide ion. This is the phenoxide ion. This is the ethoxide ion. Right? Now this is more basic, is it? No bacha, this is stabilized by resonance. This is stabilized by resonance. The electrons are involved in the delocalization here. That is why this is going to be more basic. So this is the false statement here. So assertion here is correct, but statement here is incorrect. Very good. C is the correct answer here. Next we have, phenol forms 2,4,6 tried bromophenol on treatment with Br2. That is true. Okay. And with CS2, it forms one ortho product and one para product. Right. Next is, phenol is ortho-para directing. This is also true. There will be confusion in this one. Okay. Now ask why. Most of the students will say A is the correct answer. But here B is the correct answer. Because phenol can also form ortho and para product differently. If we say this is the reason, then why not ortho and para product differently? Because bacha, you will say the reason will be because in case of polar solvent, it forms 2,4,6 substituted product. In case of non-polar solvent, it forms ortho and para product differently. So this answer is going to be B. Okay, not A. Okay, this is not the reason for that. Okay, this is the reason for why it is forming with CS2 ortho and para product, and with the water it is forming 2,4,6 tribromine product. Right? Okay, so B is going to be the right answer here. Next, bacha, we have hydrolysis 2-bromo-octane proceeds with inversion of configuration. Right? Hydrolysis of this proceeds with inversion of configuration. Is it everyone? Everyone in the chat box? Everyone in the chat box? If we have 2-bromo-octane, right? It's hydrolysis. You're adding this one here. Okay, that is going to proceed through transition state. That is, it is going to proceed through transition state. Right? Okay. SN2 mechanism, transition state. So this statement is true here. Right? The reaction proceeds to formation of carbocation. No, this reaction proceeds to formation of transition state. So here the statement C is going to be the correct statement. Yes, bacha, C is going to be the correct statement here. No, bacha. This is going to proceed to SN2 mechanism, that is transition state. Okay? Yes? Yes. Next is ionic radii of this and this are same. That is true. Okay? Because this belongs to 4D series and this belongs to 5D series. Okay? Lengthenoid contraction cancels almost exactly normal size, decreasing the size of this. This is also true. right? Ask this why. Why ionic radii of 4D and 5D series elements are same? Reason is lengthenoid contraction. So here the answer is going to be, A is going to be the correct answer here. Yes, bacha, A is going to be the correct answer here. Okay. Next we have rate of etholysis of 1 degree halide by SN2 mechanism is fast. Everyone here, rate of, okay, of 1 degree halide by SN2 mechanism is fast. That is true statement, okay, that is true statement. This proceeds by SN2 mechanism. Carbocation is stabilized by resonance, okay. Carbocation is stabilized by resonance, but here we see no carbocation that is stabilized by resonance, right? Here we form transition state, okay. So here it will be false. This is going to be false, okay. So C is going to be the correct answer here, okay. C is going to be the correct answer here, because in SN2 mechanism you will have carbocation, you will have transition state, not carbocation formation. Next we have nucleotides are phosphate ester of nucleosides. Nucleotides have phosphate esters plus nucleoside. Nucleoside plus phosphate group is nucleotides. That is true, right? Various nucleotides in nucleic acid are linked with either through purine or pyrimidine. Nucleotides are not linked through pyrimidine or purine. These are the bases, right? This is not linked through that. They have hydrogen bonded. They are hydrogen bonded to each other for joining the helix structures. To have two standard helix structure. But if we say the nucleotides are linked to each other by these, no, they are not linked to each other by this. They are linked to each other by the phosphate groups here. So this is the false statement. So the correct assertion is true, but the reason here is wrong. Okay, but the reason here is wrong. Yes, everyone. Yes, everyone. Perfect. Next question is carboxylic acid do not undergo Friedel-Crafts reaction. That is true. Okay. Why they do not undergo Friedel-Crafts reaction? Because they have this lone pair of electrons. Because they are so electron, this lone pair is going to attract the Lewis acid that is involved in the Friedel-Crafts reactions. Okay, that is why they do not show Friedel-Crafts reaction. Is meta-directing group? This is also true. But if you ask why, this is not the correct reason. This is not the reason. Okay, this is not that the statement is true, but this is not the reason for this assertion. So we will say both A and B, both assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation. Is not the explanation for it. Is not in support of the assertion. Okay, so answer is going to be B. Okay, answer here is going to be B. Right? Okay, everyone. Yes. Next we have Hofmann degradation of benzamide gives aniline. Yes. Hofmann degradation of benzamide, that means you have C6H5CONH2. This is going to give you C6H5NH2, right? That is true. Next is Hofmann degradation reaction can be used for descending. We are descending the amino, we are decreasing the carbon atoms here. That is also true. Okay, so now write it why. Why Hofmann degradation is giving us this? Because it is giving us the descending amine. Yes, because it is giving us the descending amine. So answer here is going to be, A is going to be the correct answer here. Yes, everyone, A is going to be the correct answer here. Yes, okay, very good. A is going to be the correct answer here. Because why we are getting one carbon less amine? Because it is giving us the descending amines, right? Okay. Yes, bacha. Yes, next is just 10 more questions, okay? Just 10 more questions. A monolysis of alkyl halide involved reaction between alkyl halide, alcoholic ammonia. Answer this question. I think I am feeling very dehydrated right now. Okay. A monolysis of alkyl halides involve reaction between alkyl halides and alcoholic ammonia. That statement is completely true. This is a true. This is a monolysis. A monolysis alkyl halide means they give 2 means no, this is false. It gives 1 degree, it gives 2 degree, it gives 3 degree, it gives 4 degree amines. Okay, it gives quaternary amines as well. So here we will say assertion is correct, but the reason here is the wrong statement. Okay, reason here is the wrong statement. But are you understanding? Are you understanding what we are saying, what we are doing? Yes, bacha. Copper dissolved at anode, deposited at cathode. In CuSO4 solution, you will have Cu2 positive, H positive. Now this will be deposited at. Will be deposited at cathode because this is a negative electron, right? So this is a true statement. Next is standard oxidation potential of copper is less than standard oxidation potential of water. Is this true? Is less than standard oxidation potential of water? No, water. We are not comparing this with water, right? We are comparing this with H positive, right? So this is going to be a false statement. So we are not comparing this with water. So we'll say assertion is correct, but the reason here is wrong. Okay? We are not comparing this with water. We are comparing this with this one. Okay? Yes, bacha? Yes, everyone. I am feeling so, the room was getting so dull right now. Understood this? Yes, bacha? Next statement we have Henry's law and Raoult's law is not independent. They are dependent on each other. Yes, they are dependent because P is equals to P naught. This is Raoult's law and this is Henry's law. This is Henry's law. You will see there's just difference in the constant here. Right? Okay, so this is true. The partial pressure is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the concerned species for the ideal solution. Okay. So saying the partial pressure, the partial pressure is directly proportional to the moles fraction of the concerned species for the ideal solution. That is also true. But is this giving the reason for this? Why Henry's law and Raoult's law are dependent on each other, right? Is it giving the right statement here? No? Yes? So the answer is going to be B here. So the answer is going to be B. It is not giving the answer. Okay, it is not giving the answer. Okay? Okay? Yes. Next we have both symmetrical and unsymmetrical ethers can be prepared by Williamson synthesis reaction. Right? For both symmetrical, yes, both can be prepared. So this is a true statement. Next is Williamson synthesis example of nucleophilic substitution reaction. Everyone, is it an example of nucleophilic substitution reaction? Everyone in the comment section, is it an example of nucleophilic Melvin is saying A. Okay, this is an example of nucleophilic substitution reaction. Yes. How Williamson synthesis, Williamson synthesis we are able to form symmetrical unsymmetrical because of different alkyl group and different alkoxide group. Okay, but there is no reason. This is not the reason because it is a nucleophilic attack. Okay, so this is not the reason for that. Both statements are correct, but this is the reason is not in support of the assertion here. Okay, it is not the explanation here, right? Okay. Next, you have just 6 questions left here. 6 questions left here. Next is aromatic aldehyde and formaldehyde undergo Cannizzaro reaction. For Cannizzaro reaction, no alpha hydrogen, and even aromatic aldehyde do not have alpha hydrogen. Formaldehyde do not have alpha hydrogen. Right? So this statement is true. This statement is true. Next is aromatic aldehyde. Next is aromatic aldehyde are almost as reactive as formaldehyde. They are almost as reactive as aldehyde. Is it? Is it, bacha? You have aromatic aldehyde, okay? This is aromatic aldehyde. This is aromatic aldehyde. This is not equally reactive, okay? This is aromatic aldehyde. This is showing minus M effect here, okay? It is taking the electrons, right? And here, there is no resonance here. there is no resonance here. Okay, so they do not have same reactivity. Okay, they do not have same reactivity. Here we have resonance about, here we have no resonance, so reactivity is not same. So we'll say assertion is true, but the reason statement here is incorrect. Okay, yes, C is the correct answer. Next bacha, next question. The order of the reaction can be fractional, right? The order can be fractional. Molecularity can never be fractional. Molecularity can never be fractional, right? Molecularity is a theoretical quantity. It is only applicable for elementary steps. Order is an experimental thing. Okay, so this statement is true, right? Order of a reaction does not depend on stoichiometry coefficient of the balanced equation, right? That depends on the all the mechanism steps of all the mechanisms, right? Okay, all the steps involved in the mechanism. So this is also the true statement. Ask why. Why order can be fractional? Because order is dependent on the mechanism. Order does not depend on the stoichiometric coefficient. That is why order can be fractional and molecularity can never be fractional. It depends how many molecules are colliding with each other. Okay, so now here the correct answer will be assertion and reasoning. Both are correct, but reason is correct explanation here. Okay, this reason is giving us the explanation that order of the reaction can be fractional. Why? Because order of the reaction does not depend on the stoichiometry coefficient. That is why molecularity depends on the stoichiometry coefficient of the elementary reaction. Okay, that is the reason. So here we will say A is the correct answer here. Right, everyone? Everyone here, is the answer correct? Yes, bacha. Everyone here, is the statement correct here? Everyone, is the statement correct here? A is the correct answer. Now, next question is acetone aniline solution show negative deviation. You have this acetone and this is aniline. You have this is acetone and this is aniline. This is aniline. What you are going to see after the interaction, this oxygen is going to have hydrogen bonding with this hydrogen, right? It is going to have hydrogen bonded. That means AB interaction are going to be stronger as compared to AA and BB. AA and BB interactions. Okay, AA and BB interaction. That means it is going to show us negative deviation. That is true. Hydrogen bonding between acetone and aniline is stronger than between acetone and aniline. This is also true, right? Because this is more electronegative. This electronegative is going to have more hydrogen bonding as compared to nitrogen. And acetone do not have hydrogen bonding. They are connected by dipole interactions, right? Okay, so this statement is also true. Here, let us see why. Why acetone aniline solution show negative? Because hydrogen bonding between acetone and aniline solution is stronger than this, right? That is the giving us the reason. So A is going to be the correct answer here, right? Very good. A is going to be the correct answer here. Yes, bacha. Any problem till now? Any problem? Azeotropic mixture formed only by non-ideal solution, they may have boiling point. This statement is true. Okay, this statement is true. That is only formed by boiling. The only formed by mixtures that are non-ideal in nature. Right. Now, next statement is this may be boiling points either greater or both the component. This is okay. The composition of vapor pressure is same as in azeotropic mixture. The composition of vapor pressure phase and of liquid phase is same. That is called azeotropic. Minimum azeotropic, maximum azeotropic. Right? This statement is also true. Now ask why. Ask why. Everybody ask why. Ask why. Okay. This cannot be the answer. Okay. Only A or B. Assertion. Why azeotropic mixture are formed by non-ideal solutions? Because the composition, is this giving the right answer? Is this giving the right answer? There is no explanation, there is no relation between these two. These two statements are correct individually, but they are not connected to each other. Like this is not the reason for that. So B is going to be the correct answer here. Yes, bacha, B is going to be the correct answer here. Next we have FeCN63 negative. What is the hybridization here? Everyone, what is the hybridization? Here x is equals to plus 3. That means x minus 6 is equals to minus 3. That is x is equals to plus 3. So iron having 26 is equals to plus 3. That is argon 18 4s2. 3D you have 6 here. With Fe 3 positive. That is going to be argon 3D 3. Right? Okay? Yes. Next is what type of hybridization it is going to have. Now this is a strong field. Wait. We have done something wrong. Something wrong is this. What is that? This is that. Okay. 2 electrons from here, 1 electron from here. You will have 3d5 configuration. And here the electrons filling is going to be, this is a strong field ligand. There will be pairing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So it will have D2sp3 configuration because of 6 orbitals here, 6 ligands here. Right? So this is going to be the correct statement. Next is, this show magnetic moment corresponding to 2 electrons. No, it has just 1 unpaired electron. So this is going to be false statement here. So the answer here will be C is the correct answer. Okay. So the answer, very good, very good. The answer here is going to be C is the correct answer here. Yes, everyone. Perfect. Last question of assertion reasoning. After that, we are going to do 10 case-based questions and this lecture will be over. Yes, bacha. Yes, bacha. Okay, answer this question, everyone. Answer this question, everyone. Try to solve it. Glucose gets oxidized to gluconic acid. Okay, glucose gets oxidized to gluconic acid. Achha, okay, yes, that is true. CHO group is oxidized to COH. Yes, that is true. Right? On reaction with mild oxidizing agent like this, yeah. Glucose contains keto group. This is for glucose contains aldehyde group, not keto group. Okay, so here assertion is true, but the another statement is false. Right? So C's best answer is C. Okay, my favorite one is C. Usually students get confused between A and B. This is the most confusing part here. If any of them is wrong, it is simple. Okay, but if both are true, then you have to see this very carefully. Okay, yes, bacha. Now we have completed assertion reasoning questions. Okay, it's the time to disco, right? It's the time to disco. So how we are going to do disco dance, everyone? We are going to do disco dance with case-based question, okay? Like CID, what was the name? What was the name that person? Pradyuman. You know CAD? Have you seen CAD? Everyone here? Why? What happened? So how many of you have your exam tomorrow? How many of you have your exam tomorrow? Let me see. Let us write. Yes, ma'am, we have exam tomorrow. No, ma'am, we are dropper. We are preparing for NEET. Everyone here, I want to see how many of you have exam tomorrow. Yes? Okay. Yes. Speak something. I'm feeling like dancing. Why? Why so? Why I'm feeling like dancing? Because, bacha, you know what? What's the best part? What's the best part of doing hard work? You know what gives us anxiety? Why we have this fear of failure? If there is no fear of failure, we say, okay, we'll see whatever comes. We are giving our 100%. We are doing our 100%. Now, whatever happens, it's our luck. Okay, we can't do anything about it. Luck is not in our hand. Okay, hard work is in our hand. We are doing that. When you understand this thing now, you will be relaxed. You will be relaxed in all the exams. You will be like, okay, this is exam, I'll be able to deal with this. Right? Okay? Yes. Okay, perfect, perfect. We have exam tomorrow. Perfect, bacha. You will be able to clear that. I am giving guarantee because you are hardworking. Yeah, if you are hardworking, if you know how to deal with stress, you just need two things in life. Okay, two things. One is hard work, another is stress. Another is how to deal with stress. Hard work is before the exam, and stress management is during the exam. If you know these two things, you not only in exam you will win in your life. Mark my words. If you know these two things in life, you will be able to win in your life. Wherever you will go, you become a doctor, you become an engineer, you become a entrepreneur, you become a surgeon, you become a PhD holder, right? Businessman, whatever you become in life, you will succeed because do these two things. That is hardworking. Next, you have how to handle stress, right? These are the two key mantras of success, and that is why our system take our exam so that we are mentally prepared for the life that we are going to deal with ahead. Because being an adult, it's not exams. You have your exams daily. Being an adult, you have to deal with stress. You have to manage everything. For that, you are getting prepared now. So do not take stress. Tomorrow, that is just a simple exam. You have given your 100%, you will be able to clear it. That is my promise to you. Yes, bacha? Okay, perfect. Perfect. My motto in life is this only. That okay, give your 100%. Rest is leave it upon God. Give your 100%. There should be no room for guilty in your life. No room for guilty. You'll be like relaxed. I'm chill. I have given my 100%. Yes? Okay? Everyone in the chat box, write yes ma'am, we can and we will. Everyone in the chat box, we can and we will. Okay? Yes, bacho. Yes, bacha. Now, bacha, let us see this. Let us see this. Okay. Let us see this. Now you have answered the following question. For case-based question, my tip for you is never go through the paragraphs. Okay. Only go through the paragraph if you find that some question you are not able to answer. Okay. Because sometimes the question are directly, those questions yourself. Now there are two kind of students. One student who has done everything in detail. That kind of students need not go through the paragraph. He should go only through the paragraph if he is not able to solve it. Okay. Second category is that who have not done hard work, who are just want passing marks. For those students, go through the paragraph. Firstly, see the question, then go through the paragraph. You will be able to find the hints there. You can get marks here. Okay? Yes, bacha? Okay, perfect. Now see the question here. First is write the name of product when aldehyde reacts with excess of alcohol in presence of this. The product here is acetal. Okay. What is the product here? That is acetal is formed here. Okay. Acetal is formed here. What is going to form here, bacha? You have this one. You have this one. That is ketonic group. Firstly, in presence of alcohol and dry acetal and dry HCl. This will form, this negative will attack here, and here you will form hemiacetal. Here you will form hemiacetal. After again excess of dry HCl, you will form acetal here. This is the acetal. This is the acetal. Okay. This is acetal and this is hemiacetal. This is hemiacetal. Yes, everyone. This is hemiacetal. This is acetal. Yes. Okay, next question here is why carboxylic acid is stronger than phenol? Why carboxylic acid is stronger than phenol? Everyone here, why carboxylic acid is stronger than phenol? Because in carboxylic acid, if you see this is R C double bond O negative, there is stronger than phenol, right? So it has equivalent structures. It has equivalent structures here. Equivalent structures, right? But in phenol, you have 5 resonating structures which are not equivalent, and equivalent structures are always more stable as compared to more number of structures, right? Okay, so here we will say that is the reason. Yes, this has more resonance stabilized than this. Why more resonance stabilized? Because of equivalent structures. Because of equivalent structures. Very important question. Okay, next we have arrange the following in increasing order of their reactivity towards this. Okay, reactivity towards this. Now see the reactivity towards RMGBr. Always the reactivity is like this. Okay, RMGX. This is negative, this is positive. It is going to attack here. The electrons are going to jump here. Okay, this is how it is going to take place. So more is the electron deficiency. That means more is the electrophilicity. More is the love for electron, for this carbon. More is the rate of that reaction. Okay, so now let us see this. Here you will see these are the three compounds. Here you will see why this is giving plus effect. This is giving plus effect from two places. This is giving plus effect from 3 and 4, from 4CH3 group. That is why it is not electron deficient. It is electron deficient. This is maximum electron deficient because here it has just one CH3 group to help it. Okay, so that is why the order is going to be this one. Okay, yes bacha, yes, that is why this is going to be the right order. Yes bacha, understood this? Yes bacha, any problem till now? Yes, we have done this also. Next question here is answer the following questions. Okay, you don't need to go through all this. This is carbohydrates are this, then saccharides and tolerance reagent, glucose, this, that. Just go through the question. Okay, the pentaacetate of glucose does not react with hydroxylamine. What does this indicate? This indicates that the CHO group is not free. The CHO group is not free. Okay, next is why cannot vitamin C stored in our body? Because vitamin C is water soluble. That is why it is urinated out of our body. Okay, that is why it is urinated out of our body. Out of this, B12 is the exception. B12 is not urinated out of our body. Okay, now next is define the following as related to proteins. That is peptide linkage, denaturation. Peptide linkage is when amino acids are linked to each other. That is primary structure. Yes, very good everyone. Try to answer it. Okay, I would like you to answer the questions. Okay, next is denaturation. Denaturation means when we are destroying the structure, it is losing its biological activity. In that case, primary structure is intact, 2 degree, 3 degree and quaternary structure is destroyed. Okay, yes, we have answered all the questions here. Yes, bacha. Next we have calculate first order reaction. Okay, have you solved the question paper that I have given you yesterday? Have you solved the question paper? If you have not solved, just go through the questions once. Okay, just go through the question once. Okay, bacha. Yes. Okay, yes, okay, that was in the question paper also. So the first order reaction is this. That means this is given, T half is given to you. This is T half because this is 50% is left, right? Okay, calculate the time. Firstly, calculate K is equals to 0.693 by T half. Calculate K from here. Then put the value of K into this. That is 2.303 divided by K log base 10. If 100 is the initial concentration, 30% of it is decomposed. You are left with 70, right? This is going to be the right answer. Yes, bacha, this is going to be the right answer. Next is calculate the overall order of the reaction which has following rate expression. Overall order will be half plus 3 by 2, that is 4 by 2, that is going to be 2 here. Okay, what is the effect of temperature on rate of reaction? As the temperature increases, rate of reaction also increases. Rate of reaction also increases. Yes, bacha? Okay. Next we have why I am speaking in so much speed, because I don't want you guys to miss even 1 minute. Okay, I just want you to if you are spending your time with me, if you are trusting me, so I don't want to spoil even 1 minute of you, right? That is why I'm speaking in like so much hurry. So now everybody answer these questions. Okay, answer these questions. Answer these questions, guys. Answer these questions. Why CO2 positive is more stable than this? Why so? Why so, bacha? Why CO2 positive is more stable than Cu positive? Yes, why CO2 positive is more stable than Cu positive? Because Cu is disproportionate into CO2 positive and Cu. Okay, it easily disproportionate into this, right? Second here is transition metal despite high E naught value, poor reducing agents. So now, why even though they have high value of E naught, they are not good. Okay, so transition despite of this are poor reduced because of their high heat of vaporization, high ionization energies, and low heat of hydrations. Okay, very important conceptual based questions. Now next is why Cr positive is reducing. This is this because Cr positive, it is more stable in Cr3 positive state. This is more stable in Mn2 positive state. This is more stable in Mn2 positive state. So that is why it will get oxidized and it will reduce to other thing, and hence it will behave as a good reducing agent. It will get reduced and behave as a good oxidizing agent. Okay, yes, very good. Hydration enthalpy is low. Very good, very good. Next, bacha, next that is related to the osmosis. Okay, that is related to the osmosis, right? From your solution chapters, try to go through the paragraph after you go through the question. That is a trick for case-based questions. Okay, people taking a lot of salt or salty food suffer from puffiness or edema. Why so? Because salt is a non-volatile. Okay, when we add salt, our body as compared to the outer environment in our cell, okay, that cell is having more salt. Okay, so what our body is going to do, it is going to there will be osmosis, the concentration of high to low for solvent particle, and solvent here is going to be water. So water is going to come out of the cells, right, for due to osmosis, and hence we will feel puffiness in the eyes. Okay, hence we will feel puffiness in the eyes, right? Okay, this is osmosis. The reason is osmosis. Next is the preservation of meat by salting or fruit by adding sugar, protect against bacterial action. Now, when we want to preserve something in our homes, the very desi method for that is to add salt in it, right? What is the reason? Because when we are adding salt, the bacteria has water, right? It is hydrated, it has water content in it, but the outside environment have NaCl that has less water content. So the water is going to move from high value to low value. So the bacteria is going to lose the water and the bacteria is going to shrink. And that is the reason, bacha, that is the reason the bacteria dies here. Okay, that is the reason the bacteria dies here. Next is why the direction of osmosis. Why the direction of osmosis gets reversed if a pressure larger than the osmotic pressure is applied to the solution side. Write one application. Okay, why osmotic pressure? Now, when we have osmotic pressure, when the osmotic pressure is when we have high to low, that is osmosis. Okay, when we apply pressure, osmotic pressure, it stops. When osmotic pressure is very high, in that case there is reverse osmosis. In reverse osmosis, that is used for desalination of water. Okay, yes bacha, thank you bacha, thank you so much, it means the world to me. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. Okay, just one thing from you, this makes my day. Now the pure solvent flown from solution through the semi-permeable membrane due to reverse osmosis, it is used in the desalination. Okay, understood this bacha? I have already told you what is desalination. Okay, this is the semi-permeable membrane, this is NaCl, plus solution. This is only water here. Okay, during osmosis, it is going to flow from this side to this side. When the osmosis stop, it is going to stop. During reverse osmosis, this is going to flow from this side to this side. That means NaCl solution is going to get desalined here. Okay? Yes, very good. Next question here, everyone. Next question here. We are just left with 4 more questions. Okay, 4 more questions. Why does copper? 5 more questions. Okay. Why does copper, which is in first series of transition, exhibit +1 oxidation state frequently? Right? Why does copper in the exhibit +1 oxidation state? Why so? Because copper has oxidation state 4s, argon 18, 4s1, 3d10. Right? So after losing 1 electron, copper positive will be 4s0. This is a stable fully filled configuration. That is why it will stay in Cu positive state here. Right? Okay. Next is the lower oxidation of transition metal is basic. Why? Why lower oxidation state of transition metal is basic, everyone? Because lower oxidation state has low oxidation state. Some value of electrons of the metal do not participate in the bonding. They can donate electrons. And can behave as bases. Okay, some of the electrons do not participate in the bonding for the lower oxidation state. And you understand this thing? For example, you have NS2ND4. Okay, here we say it is in the +2 oxidation state. Let us say it is in +2 oxidation state. It is a lower oxidation state. It will have NS2ND2. So in this case, what we will see, this is NS2ND2. In this case, what we are going to see, that here this is NS2ND2. That means these are acting as a lone pair, right? And they are going to attract the H positive ion, right? That is why they are behaving as good bases. Yes, okay. But I have already made the video. We have already done the live sessions of our important organic conversions, right? Okay, if you understand Hindi, I am going to do it the same lecture today at 8 p.m. on Vedantu NEET Toppers. If you do not understand Hindi, I have already made a lecture, that is 1 hour lecture on this Tuesday. Yes, okay. Next we have the variability in oxidation state of D block elements from the P block element. D block element have very less, the D block elements or oxidation state have very less difference, like +2, +3. There is only difference of unity. In P block element, there is difference of 2 or 3 units, right? Okay, like in P block elements, lower oxidation state is more stable due to near-pair effect. D block elements, higher oxidation state are more stable. D block element oxidation state differ by 1, wherein P block element it differs by 2. Right? Okay, understood? Next question, bacha. Next question. Why racemization occurs is SN1? Because of formation of carbocation. Why ethanol is less polar than water? Because ethanol has plus I effect. Okay, because ethanol has plus I effect. That is why it is that is why it is less polar than water. Why one of the following, each of the following reactive towards SN2? Okay, which of the following is more reactive, everyone? Which of the following is, ma'am, please share today's. Okay, bacha, I'll share the reaction. I'll share the PDF after this class. Okay. Yes, everyone. This is CH3CH2. This is CH3CH2. So out of this is a good leaving group. That is why this is going to be more reactive. Okay. Then out of this and this, we'll see which has more steric hindrance. Reacting it here is difficult. Okay. There is more steric hindrance in this case, which is more reactive. This is a bigger group, right? This is going to be have more steric hindrance, and hence this is going to be more reactive. Yes, this is going to be more reactive. Now let us see the answer here. This SN1 reaction, carbocation. Ethanol is less polar, water, because bond between this and this is not very polar. Like this, net dipole moment and all this, oxygen and hydrogen bond in water molecule, right? Okay, yes. Next, we'll see this is more reactive because I negative is a good leaving group, and here this is more reactive. Wait. We have done the opposite, okay? This is more reactive. This is more reactive because if we say this is going to be the carbocation, here you are going to have these two carbocation, right? This is this carbocation, and here you are going to have this carbocation, right? Okay, these are the two carbocation that you are going to have, right? So here you will have less steric hindrance as compared to this, so this is going to be more reactive. Yes, this is going to be more reactive. Okay, yes bacha, yes, this is going to be more reactive. Yes, okay, yes, very good. This is primary, this is secondary. Next we have, what is the average rate of reaction? What is the average? Write two factors that depends on this. What happens when rate of reaction is zero order reaction? And then we have what happens, what is the unit of K for the zero order reaction? Okay, now let us see the answer to this. So what is the unit? Rate of reaction, everyone. Rate of reaction. Rate of reaction is going to be minus. Have they given any reaction here? What is the average rate of reaction? Let us take an example of this rate. Okay, average rate of reaction, I'm talking about this one. This one. It is going to be minus delta A by delta T equals to plus delta B by delta T. That is the change in concentration of reactant or product per unit time is the average rate. Okay, next is that we have what are two factors that affects the rate of reaction. First is the concentration, then we have temperature, then we have catalyst, whether it is going to increase the activation energy or decrease the activation energy. Then we have surface area. Okay, surface area is also dependent. Okay, it is also dependent on the surface area, right? Okay, yes, perfect. Next we have what happens to rate of reaction for zero order reaction. For zero order reaction, the rate of reaction is R is equals to K. Okay, R is equals to K. That is the rate of reaction here. What will be the unit of zero order reaction? The units are going to be mole per liter and 1 minus n per second. Okay, these are going to be the units. Okay, these are going to be the units where n is the order of the reaction. Okay, bacha. Coefficient also we should add no matter rate of reaction. Sorry, Shathika, can you please repeat that? What you are saying? Can you please repeat that, beta? Okay. Now what is the, now saying what this does not react with this, what will be the formula? Now this is not reacting with AgNO3. That means there is no Cl outside the coordination sphere. Okay, so this is going to be PT Cl2 NH3 twice. Okay, this is going to be the right answer. Next is, what is the secondary valency of this? Secondary valency means coordination number. Coordination number is 6 here. It has 6 donating sites. Okay, one ethylene diamine is given 2 donating site. It is bidentate ligand. So that means it will have 3 ligands will have 6 donating sites. Okay. Yes. Okay. Any others? There is a surprise for you. Okay. I'll do a live session on Telegram after this, and I'll tell you after that. Okay. Yes, bacha. Okay. Yes, next is write the formula of iron 3 hexacyanidophenate. Okay, write the formula of iron 3 hexa. Write the formula for this. Here you have ferrate. Ferrate means this iron is in the negative sphere here. Okay, this is the iron. Okay, again you have iron outside this. Okay, here the valency of this one is 3 positive. Okay, now the valency of this one is 2. This is hexacyanate. This is hexacyanate. If this is plus 2, this is minus 6, this is going to be minus 4. So this is going to be minus 4. After cross valency, this is going to be FeCN6. This is 3 and this is going to be 4. Yes, bacha? Understood this? Write the valencies also. Okay, write the valencies oxidation number also. Write the oxidation number also. Here they have given the valency for this one is plus 3. So I have written plus 3 here. The valency for this one is plus 2. If this is plus 2, this is minus 6. That is going to be minus 4 here. Right? So this is plus 3. This is minus 4 after cross valency. This is going to be the right answer. Okay, bacha? This is going to be the right answer. Yes, everyone? Next is write the IUPAC name of this one. What is the IUPAC name of this one? This is, everyone here, what is the IUPAC name of this one? This is firstly we will write pentamine chlorido, cobalt, Roman 3 chloride. Okay, chloride. Okay, understood this? Yes, this is going to be the right answer. Pentamine chlorido, cobalt 3 chloride. Yes, bacha? Yes, okay. All answers are right. Okay. Yes, bacha? Okay. Now is the last question of today. Okay, last question of today. That is, name the linkage which connects monosaccharides unit in polysaccharides. The linkage is glycosidic linkage. For proteins, it is peptide linkage, right? Now, carbohydrates are classified on the basis of their behavior on hydrolysis, right? Carbohydrates are classified on the basis of their behavior on hydrolysis. Write the hydrolysis of sucrose. So sucrose gives, everyone here, you need to write everything about sucrose. It gives glucose and lactose. Glucose is dextrorotatory, this is levorotatory, this is dextrorotatory. As the position changes, as the configuration changes from dextro to levo, that is why it is also called invert sugar. That is why it is also called invert sugar. Yes, bacha? Okay? Very good, very good. Next is write down the differences between amylose and amylopectin. What are the differences between amylose and amylopectin, bacha? What are the differences? Very simple. Amylose, this is amylopectin. Everybody in the chat box. Amylopectin. Amylopectin. So amylose is nothing but it is C1, C2 linkages of alpha D glucose. Alpha D glucose. This is C1, C2. C1, C4. Here it should be C1, C4. Okay. C1, C4 linkages plus C1, C6 linkages. Right? Of alpha D glucose. Of alpha D glucose and this is branched. This is branched. This is linear. This is linear. Okay? Understood this? Yes, bacha. Moreover, this is soluble in water. This is insoluble in water. Right? What about cellulose? Cellulose has a beta D glucose. That is linkages of C1, C2, beta D glucose. Right? And what about glycogen? Glycogen is just more branched way of amylopectin. Okay, bacha? Yes, bacha? Yes, yes, yes. Yes. That is your surprise. Yes, that is just, I think I have already prepared the notes for you. My handwritten notes for you. That are for you. Right? So we are going to revise this like quickly. Right? Very quickly we are going to revise this. So I'll tell you everything in the Telegram group. I'll go live in the Telegram group after this. Okay, bacha? Yes. Okay, bacha. Very good. Very good. Any problem? Any problem? Any problem now? Yes. Any problem? Everyone in the chat box. We have completed it. Okay, we have completed it. Right?
So as you have watched the video, now if you like this session, then do hit the like button, share this video and subscribe to this channel. And you're also, if you're preparing for JEE Advanced, then we have Rank Accelerator book for you. That is for physics, chemistry and mathematics, and it has some really interesting questions for you that you can solve to prepare yourself for JEE Advanced level. But if you want to get this book for totally free of cost, then you can enroll yourself to Eklavya batch. In this batch, basically we solve this particular book in the class itself, in the live session. Doubt sessions are taken here, so that will be very beneficial for you if you are getting stuck in the questions of JEE Advanced. If you're preparing for just JEE Mains 2 attempt 2, then what you can do, in the description we have a link, that is JEE Mains attempt 2, just a batch dedicated to JEE Mains 2, right? Click on that, purchase that, because the batch has already started. Students are already enrolled in that and they are preparing, because we have very less time. Don't waste even single minute here, right? Okay then, bacha, all the best for your exam. This is Diksha Kaushal signing off.